Measured in different ways, our nation, economy, and government are worsening, particularly in regards to our ability as citizens and residents to influence our public policies. How? Over the decades, there have been constitutional rulings issued by the U.S. Supreme Court declaring corporations as legal persons and money as free speech. These decisions have made it hard for politicians to represent us and create laws that we want. Corporations have been shielded from public control through the Bill of Rights and other constitutional protections, which were only supposed to apply to humans, not corporations. Money has also been shielded from public control by the court claiming it is speech, not property. However, if money is speech, then those with the most money, especially political money, possess the most political speech. This drowns out the voices of the vast majority of we the people. Now, how does this connect to real issues in Ohio? Here are some examples. Through election fundraising. The amount of money raised and spent in elections continues to rise. Candidates in Ohio rely on wealthy individuals, business corporations, unions, etc. to raise funds. During the last governor's election, John Kasich raised $1.5 million through known political contributions, almost 70% of which came from corporate interests, while for Ed Fitzgerald, at least a third of $900,000 raised by top political contributors came from union interests. If corporate entities have the right to make large political contributions, politicians will tend to serve the corporate interests over the people's interests. Through the media. During election years, information about candidates and their platforms is often shallow in commercial TV, radio, and newspapers across Ohio. Money as speech has resulted in candidates raising and spending more money than ever, most of which is spent on misleading and hostile commercials by presidential candidates, especially in the swing state of Ohio. The media has no incentive to inform citizens through in-depth reports of candidates because those reports could be considered free ads for the candidates, leading to less ad revenue for the media. Through prisons. More prisons are privatized in Ohio, meaning these three private corporations run them. First Amendment free speech rights permit these corporate-run prisons to politically lobby and donate money to candidates. In exchange for the private takeover of prisons, some corporations demand a guaranteed high percentage of filled beds to increase profits. This means the idea of emptier prisons could be problematic for the state, so they want to make sure that doesn't happen. Private prisons also make profits selling products or services produced by dirt-cheap prison labor. Through home foreclosures. The corporate free speech rights have resulted in the financial sector being the first of all sectors that donate or invest politically. This resulted in abolishing federal regulations such as the Glass-Steagall Act, which prevented risky bank practices. This abolishment was one of the factors that led to the Great Recession and rampant home foreclosures in Ohio. Through education. For-profit charter schools funded through the state are failing our children. The two largest systems have received mostly D and F ratings. In the past 20 years, these two corporations have collectively received 25% of all funds earmarked for charter schools in the state, even though they are some of the worst performing schools in Ohio. The owners are major contributors or investors to Ohio politicians, and their corporations are major lobbyists, allowing them to exert disproportionate political influence. The political sphere is complicated, but if corporate entities did not have constitutional rights and money was not free speech, there would be less corporate influence and fewer policies that serve the selfish interests of the few rather than the public interests of we the people. To learn more, check out these websites and check the description for cited sources. Thanks for watching!